Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Marco, and here I generally tell you about or talk about differences between men and women, but today I will touch a topic that touches all of us, no matter if we are single or in a relationship, and specifically about anger or basically dealing with strong emotions. I will focus on anger because it is generally the most destructive. We all, or the majority of us, have issues with anger in one way or another. So before I dive in, please like and subscribe for future videos about topics that touch on all our lives, and as well as knowing when another video that might help you deal with the everyday issues with people or yourself comes up. So about anger, we've all been exposed to episodes of anger from ourselves, from others. We've all had to deal with those consequences, right? I mean, you got something happens, it drives you mad, you lash out verbally, physically, and people around you get hurt. Consequently, your relationship suffers, and everything gets a bit worse in your life, usually. On the other hand, we've been told that anger was bad from the earliest childhood, right? You shouldn't get angry, you must control your anger, you will hurt people, you'll hurt yourself, it's bad for you, it's bad for everyone, don't be angry. Don't control yourself, master your anger. We all know those, right? The lectures, I got many lectures on the topic. But when I grew older, I had lots of anger issues. I suppressed my anger. I was terrified of losing control. And when I lose it a bit, people got hurt when I could not control my rage. And I was suppressing it for years until it almost destroyed me. And it's taught me how dangerous it can be. But on the other hand, at a later period in life, I was in a dark place and I was lost, hopeless, and anger gave me the strength, the motivation to change. So I saw both the negatives and the positive. You see, anger, in my opinion, is something chaotic. It's not strictly negative or positive. It's simply an actor, something that brings change in one way or another. It's a drop of chaos in our life. It can drive us to defend ourselves, to change something that should have been changed long ago, but we just did not have the strength, the awareness, whatever. Something angers you and you can't tolerate it anymore. You get angry at yourself because you've been doing something on and on and on. And this anger drives you to change that, to stop doing it, to do something else more productive, something more beneficial. So all those things constitute anger. I mean, positive and a negative. And the problem isn't about being angry. We're all human. We have emotions. Emotions come, they go. But how to deal with anger so it does not hurt us or the people around us? Because you know how it is at your work. Boss or customers do something that enrages you, you suppress it, you come home, you unleash that on your family, and it's not that fault. You're basically hurting innocence because you couldn't control yourself any longer. And maybe because you did not have the courage to say what you should have said to your boss or your customers. But we're not here to judge your courage or anyone's courage. But the problem is that rage, the anger you can't control, and then unleash it on those that don't deserve it. And at least for me, it was always that release. After the relief first, it came a feeling of guilt because people did not deserve what I gave them because of that anger. And I became hateful towards myself. I felt contempt, sorrow, rage, even more rage, actually. I felt a victim of my own emotions, and it's a terrible feeling, at least. So I started studying how to deal with anger, and I tried different methods. There are many methods outside how to deal with anger: sports, physical exhaustion, alcohol, therapy, meditation, a myriad of ways. But for me, I realized this little thing. Okay, for alcohol, it never really works, right? But the other methods do affect how you feel, how you react, how you control yourself, like controlling your breathing and something. But one thing that the most effective methods have in common, at least what I've noticed, is that it separates your emotion from your thought process, right? When you get angry, you got this surge of feelings, and with those feelings come thoughts like, "Oh, how could he be like that? Or how this is unjust, or he's an whatever. I want to make them pay. I want them to suffer. I want to punch them, whatever." And all those thoughts, you know what they do? They basically feed your rage even stronger. So you create a loop in your mind. So the emotion gets stronger, it affects your thoughts. Your thoughts get more darker, more affected by anger, and they feed the anger right back until it gets to a point you can't control yourself and you lash out, verbally or physically, it doesn't matter. But the biggest thing about it is when you separate the thought from the emotion is that you can't act without a thought. A thought is always the precursor to action. You don't have to act, but to act, you have to have a thought, not an emotion. Emotion is just a feeling. It does not drive you to action. It influences the thoughts that then produce action or drive you to action, right? So if you separate or split this apart, so you separate the emotion from the thought, there is no action. So my approach was when I was angry, or no matter how strong it was, I did my damnedest not to think about it. I just felt, I am angry now. And that was it. I just cooked it. I screamed out, I punched inanimate objects, stuff like that, or went, I don't know, for a sprint or whatever, physical exertion. But I did not think about the stuff that made me angry. I did my best to ignore the thoughts, to let them pass by me. Because if you're attentive to your thoughts, you'll notice that they come and go, right? It's not ever present, or I thought about something, but it is kind of somehow just drop in your head. At least this is how I feel about it. And if you are careful, you don't have to pay it attention. You can just let it go by. And it works. At least it worked for me and quite a few people I talked about. So separate your emotion from your thought. You can do it in many ways, and physical exercise definitely helps, or meditation, or controlling your breathing, because you focus on the physical. Anything that makes you focus on the physical when you're enraged, as long as it's not physical violence, is a good thing, because it also takes your focus away from your negative thoughts that are driven by anger. So you separate those two and you master your anger. You'll not lose control. You'll just be angry. You will not act out angry. You will not lash out. You will not think angry thoughts. Maybe later when you cool down a bit, you can, but you have enough control at that point. But in the first rush, that's your recipe for success. So it's also applicable to all other strong negative emotions, but anger is the one we usually have the hardest to deal with. And so I hope this helps to all of you dealing with anger issues. Don't suppress it. Don't internalize it. Don't punish yourself over it. Anger is just an emotion, just like sadness or happiness or peace or anything. We simply are humans, so we feel emotion. It's nothing negative with it. The negativity comes up when we act on anger. Until that point, anger can be a good thing. So good luck with it and have a nice day.